spring lucky. You owe me, big time. This presentation will catch you off guard, but before we get to that, let me ask you a question. How would you feel if you woke up tomorrow to a Click bank account that looked like this? How about your Click bank account? Does it look so desolate it makes the Sahara Desert look like the Vegas Strip? I'm guessing you're a bit tired of that feeling like you've been punched in the gut by Manny Pacquiao every time you log in and see your earnings. Do you want the sort of money you see in the screenshots above to flow to you without the stress of content creation and backlinking that everyone and their sister's doing? Well, to be perfectly honest, if you really want that kind of lifestyle, if you're really going to get anywhere near that kind of money, you'll have to go through me first. You might not like me. I know you're nowhere near ready for me. I may talk to you in a tone you don't like, and you may not like the sound of my voice. Well, I don't care. I don't have to care. Why? Because I've got something that separates me from 99.9% of the sophomoric launches you're seeing daily. I've got an ace in the hole. That's why you're not going to find a stock image of a bikini-clad model prancing around my site, and you're not going to get an amazingly crafted fictional drama because I don't need it. You're about to discover an extremely important fact about so-called traffic software, which will forever change the way you look at all of the hyped-up product launches and prevent you from getting rope-a-dope into one failed venture after another. Nobody will share this with you because sharing this would put them out of business. Traffic software, like any software, isn't worth a damn. No matter how many of them you have, no matter how few clicks they promise, traffic software, again, like all software, is only as good as the engineer who created it. I should know. I've worked with the engineering minds behind both YouTube and Facebook platforms. You wouldn't go into a battle with a gun you found on the street. You need to know who made that sucker, what it's made of, and if it fires reliably. The same is true of mission-critical software. Now, I can count on one finger the number of people trying to sell you traffic software who would actually tell you who the engineer was. Usually, they'll hide their identity behind a completely fabricated cloak of Russian or Indian hackery and fictional stories so ballsy it would make J.R. Tolkien blush. If you see somebody trying to pull that on you, watch your wallet. It's in the red zone. If this whole industry has made you feel hopeless, I don't blame you. You're human. Humans like a little loyalty, a little integrity, is what we thrive on. So prepare yourself for a breath of fresh air. The page you're on right here doesn't need a damn thing. Certainly not hype or overblown stories, because I've got something real created by a single engineer and his team of commando-like coders. The thought of this engineer turning his attention to this industry sends shivers down the spines of the whack-a-mole professional clickbank launchers posing as internet marketing gurus. I've got just that engineer, and he's not just any engineer. He's the engineer that helped develop the hardware and platform for Facebook and YouTube. Do you realize what you just heard? The engineer that helped create the software you're about to have in your possession also helped bring to life the technologies that are the current foundation for YouTube and Facebook, which enables them to run at lightning speed. Thank your lucky stars. Because in what is arguably the most historic thing to happen in our industry, this certifiable, multi-patent, legitimate programming genius has decided to take an interest in you. Yes, you. He's created software that actually drives honest-to-goodness traffic from completely free sources, just like you've always dreamed was possible. Having this powerhouse engineer at your disposal is more than an ace in the hole. It's more like the Joker, a complete wild card. I kind of feel bad for the gurus out there. Poor bastards. They couldn't have seen this coming. They're done. How will they ever compete? This guy's already a legend. He framed two of the most influential websites of our generation. He has nothing to prove. It's an honor to have him working on my methods. And we're all honored to have him working anywhere near our industry. I'm going to tell you everything. How we met and how we formed a platform that could not be rivaled. Now, I have no clue how you found this page. But I would compare this day to the day I got off the streets. Today is one of the luckiest days of your entire life that I promise I will empower you to the point of no return. A lifestyle you'll refuse to live without. Think about that. 60 days from today, you will not be able to go back to how it used to be. How could you ever go back? Sometimes I think about my time on the streets and how I grew up homeless, an orphan by choice, sort of, attending the school of hard knocks. I remember the time I woke up with the taste of metal in my mouth. It was a sawed-off Mossberg shotgun. Apparently, some people think that waking someone up to their death makes for a pretty cool party trick. I'm Rashid Ali, a real person, a real recognized, genuinely successful internet marketer, and this is my story. I grew up on the streets, living homeless in the projects of Harlem and Queens. I was on my own at the age of 14. I don't need to go to hell because I've already been there. But you know what? I can't even feel it anymore. I consider it another lifetime. As far as I'm concerned, I live in heaven now, a heaven on earth. Sure, I have everything a guy could possibly want. 2 homes I can proudly call my own, 2 sweet luxury cars, a beautiful wife, and 2 ridiculously beautiful little girls of our own. We can do almost anything we want, when we want, without the fear that comes with spending too much money. That's nothing like the old days and the old me. Internet marketing killed the old me. But nothing would prepare me for the utter freedom and pure bliss I experienced when this engineer came into my life. And you'll agree with me 110% if you're privileged enough to get near what he's created. This information you're about to hear is not well known, but the information you're about to hear will set you free. Freedom from paralyzing stress. Freedom from the ever-nagging question, when will I ever get ahead? Freedom from your old ways, your old thoughts, your old clothes, your old neighborhood. When it's all said and done, you won't be thanking me. I won't allow it. You'll be thanking the engineer who made it all possible. Yes, the program you may just be lucky enough to receive today was coded line by brilliant line by Carlos Art Navarez and his team. I don't expect you to know that name. It's not like there's baseball cards of programmers and engineers that our kids collect. But if there were, he'd be the Babe Ruth rookie card in mint condition. Don't believe me? Look him up. 11 patents and company names like Novell, Ford Motors, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and YouTube are just a few notches on his belt. Computer hard drives used to be able to perform 150 operations per second. Thanks to Art and the companies he's helped build, they can now perform 150,000 operations per second, and even 10 times that. Ever wonder how YouTube can process so many uploads at one time without crashing? The answer is solid-state drive technology. My partner Art helped pioneer 2 of the leading providers of solid-state drive technology in existence today. Technology which is now fueling the hardware platforms at companies like Facebook, YouTube, Google, and many others. He helped create this platform, and that's all I need. I don't need any of the hype. Finally, a piece of software that'll actually live up to all the standards the others have set. Once again, I kinda have to repeat how epic this is. I came a long, hard way to get here, to this engineer, and to this day, the day it all comes together. And you're going to listen to this story, not just because it's as interesting as anything you've ever heard, but because you're a part of it. This is as much your story as it is mine. At the end of it, you'll get a chance to decide how the story ends, because that's a move only you can make. I came from the streets, and used to think I would die there too. It was exactly 764 days I spent in the luxurious project rooftops of Queens and Manhattan. Let's just say I grew up in a highly turbulent home. I liked my chances out on the streets more than in my home. That should tell you enough. It took me a while just to get the hang of living on the streets. The transition was tough. After being witness to some things that would traumatize a brick wall, I knew I had to figure something out quick. You get pretty crafty living on the streets. And I had to do some things I'm not too proud of. But I must admit, I was, and still am, a crafty SOB. I would go to hospitals and shower on the 5th floor, the psych ward. I would then eat lunch in the cafeteria with the hospital staff.